Hey guys, you're welcome back to another amazing tutorial. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how to cut, sew and attach a cargo pocket. It is very simple, detailed and beginner friendly. So this video is going to be a two-part video. In this tutorial I'll be sharing with you how to make the cargo pocket, while in the next tutorial I'll be sharing with you how to make the cargo pants. So if this looks like what you're really interested in, please watch this video till the end. And if this is your first time on this channel, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button and also on the notification bell so you can get notified whenever we post a new tutorial. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for always stopping by. I really appreciate your support and love. So now we're going to dive into today's tutorial proper. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using an Ankara and an Asuke fabric to make the cargo pocket. A cargo pocket is made up of three parts. We have the main pocket itself, we have the flap also called the cover, and here we have the border. So the width and the height of the pocket depends on how big and how wide you want it to be. So for this tutorial, the width of the pocket I have here is 13.5 inch, while the height of the pocket is 10 inch. So for this 13.5 inch I cut out, I'm going to be creating a pleat on the center of the pocket, and I'll be using 4.5 inch for that pleat. So after pleating, what I'll be left with is 9 inch as the width of the pocket. Then for the flap, to cut out the flap, we're going to be using the width of the pocket to cut out the flap. Like I said earlier, after creating my pleat on the main pocket, what I'll have left is going to be 9 inch. So for my flap, what I have here is 10 inch. I'll be using 0.5 inch to close up both sides of the flap. After doing that, I'll be left with 9 inch, and the height of the flap is 4 inch. For the border, the length is determined by what you have around the pocket like this, and the height of the border is 3 inch, while the length is going to be determined by what you have around this side of the pocket after creating your pleat. So now we're going to go ahead to start stitching the piece together, and I'll be starting with the main pocket. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to fold my pocket into two like this. Know that I'm folding to the wrong side of the pocket. So this part here is the wrong side, while the part inside is the good face. So after doing that, I'm going to go ahead to measure 2.25 from the center of the pocket like this. I'll take that measurement at the top and mark, and I'll also take the same 2.25 measurement on the bottom of the pocket, and I also go ahead to mark that like you see me doing in the video. So after marking that, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to go up by 1.5 inch and mark. Then I'll go ahead to draw a small vertical line at the point I just marked like this, and I'll be doing the same thing on the upper part. I'll come down by the same 1.5 inch and mark. I'll go ahead to draw a small vertical line also like this. Then I'll go back to my sewing machine to run the stitch from the beginning to the end of that 1.5 inch, and I'll do the same thing on the lower part also. So after running the stitch at the top and at the bottom, this is what I have. Once I was done doing that, this is what the good face look like, and this is what the wrong face is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to give it a good press. So I'm just going to go ahead to open up the 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 pleat like this, like I'm creating a box pleat. I'll go ahead to open it up like this, then I'll give it a good press like you see me doing in the video. So after ironing, this is what it is going to look like. So if you want this box effect to be on the good face like the picture attached on the screen, you can simply go ahead to do it the other way around. But for me, I want to have this opening on the good face. That was why I left it like this. So whatever design you want to create on your pocket, the choice is totally yours to make. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to attach the border to the pocket. So here I have my border. What I went ahead to do was to fold in 0.5 inch on one side of the border while the other side is left unfold. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to place the unfolded part of the border on the edge of the pocket like you see me doing in the video. So when placing it on the pocket, once you get to this edge, you go ahead to create a notch at that point, or you create a little plate so that it will be easy for you to stitch around that corner. So what I'll go ahead to do is to create a notch once I get to that point, and I'll also be doing the same thing once I get to this other corner also. So I'm going to go back to my sewing machine to stitch the border to the main pocket using 0.5 inch all the way around. Then I'll come back to show you what next. So here I've gone ahead to stitch the border to the pocket, and this is what I have after I was done stitching it. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut off this excess border fabric I have at this point like this. Then I'll turn it over to the good face. So make sure you notch the lower part of the pocket so that you have this square effect at that point and you not struggle when you're stitching the pocket to your main trouser. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to go over to my sewing machine to hem the upper part. So I'll go ahead to fold in 0.5 inch first, then I'll fold it over again, after which I'll run a top stitch on the upper part of the pocket. After running that stitch, I'm going to also go ahead to press my pocket by folding in the border, then I'll give it a good press all the way around. So once I was done hemming the upper part of the pocket and also giving the pocket a good press, this is what I had once I was done doing that. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to run a top stitch on the side of the pocket all the way around using 0.5 inch. You can use 0.25 inch if you wish. I'll just go ahead to go back to my sewing machine to run a top stitch on the pocket like this. And once I'm done running the top stitch on the pocket, I'll also be working on the flap of the pocket. So here I have the flap of the pocket. So remember, you're cutting out two pieces for the flap. One is going to be your main facing while the other one is going to be the main lining. So you go ahead to place them like this, making sure the good face are facing each other. Then you stitch using 0.5 inch all the way around. After stitching, I'll turn it over to the good face, give it a good press. So if you don't want your pocket to be straight, you can simply go ahead to draw a curve at this point or do whatever design you want your pocket to be. But for me, I'm going to be working with it straight like this. So I'll go back to my sewing machine and stitch all the way around, then I'll turn it over to the good face, after which I'll also go ahead to top stitch the pocket. So here I have the pocket and this is what it looks like. So I went ahead to top stitch all around the pocket, and this is what the pocket looks like. And here I have the flap. After stitching and turning the flap back to the good face, I also went ahead to run a top stitch on the flap. This is what I have. So make sure that the flap and your pocket are aligning. So make sure that they are both aligning, you don't have any gap on the side, so that it fits properly. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to attach the pocket to my pants. So here I have the pants. I've gone ahead to join the sides of the pants together. So the crotch area is not yet joined, but I've joined the sides together, and this is what I have. This is one part of the pant. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to mark where I want to insert the pocket. And to do that, I'm going to go ahead to take my tape rule and I'll take my measurement from the waist. So I'll be attaching a waistband of 2 inch to the pants. So I'm going to go ahead to start taking my measurement from that 2 inch, and from that point I'll take 13 inch. So this is where I'm going to be inserting the pocket. So I'll just go ahead to mark that point like this. After marking the point, I'll draw a straight horizontal line at the point like you see me doing in the video. Sorry, my chalk is not really coming out, just watch carefully so you understand what I'm trying to explain. So next I'll bring my pocket and I'll place it on the pant like this. So make sure that the side seam on the pocket is aligning with the center of your pocket like this. Then you go ahead to trace the pocket on your main fabric like you see me doing in the video. So after tracing, this is where I'm going to be placing my pocket. The next thing to do is to mark where to place the flap. So for that, from where the pocket stopped, I'm going to go ahead to be going up by 0.5 inch. So in this video, I marked 1 inch upward, but while stitching, I noticed that the 1 inch was too much, so I reduced it to 0.5 inch. So all you need to do is to go up by 0.5 inch from the point where your pocket is going to be stopping. So I'm just going to go ahead to draw a straight horizontal line like you see me doing in the video. To attach the flap to your pant, all you need to do is to place the good face of your flap to the pant like this. Then you go ahead to stitch it on the trouser using 0.5 inch. After stitching, you flip it over like this, then you top stitch the pocket on the pant. So I'll just repeat this again. To stitch the flap to your pocket, all you need to do is to place the flap on your pant like this, then you stitch using 0.5 inch. After that, you flip it over and run a top stitch on it. So this is how you're going to be fixing your flap to the pant. Then for the main pocket, you're going to go ahead to place the border on the line you drew. Remember, we already folded this part, so don't forget to fold this part. Make sure it is folded. Then you place it on your pant on the line you drew. Then you go ahead to top stitch the border on the pant. So when you get to this edge, you're going to go ahead to create a little pleat at that point and top stitch all the way around. So note that you are stitching the border to the pant alone. You are not stitching the main pocket to the pant, you are stitching the border to the pant. So once you're done stitching the flap and the pocket to your pant, this is what it is going to look like. So I'll go over to my sewing machine to quickly do all this, then I'll come back to show you what it looks like. And also I'll be attaching another pocket below, so I'll be coming down by 6 inch from where the first pocket stopped, and I'll place the other pocket on this other side. So I'll do this, then I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So after I was done stitching the pocket to the trouser, this is what it looks like. So after stitching, I went ahead to top stitch this part to the pocket so that it doesn't open too much. So run a top stitch on this side to keep the pocket in place. And this is what the pocket looks like once I was done stitching the pocket. And also this is what the lower part of the pocket looks like once I was done stitching it. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to quickly do is to finish up the pants I'm making, then I'll come back to show you the final look of the pants. So here we have the final look of the pants. In the next tutorial, I'll be sharing with you how to make this pant from the scratch. So if this is what you are interested in, please click on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever the video comes up. And also don't forget to like, share and drop a comment. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my other tutorials.